What is happening in the world right now? You're tuned into Google Trends Hub, where we bring you the most critical updates as they break. The news cycle never stops, and neither do we. Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the stories that matter, the moments that define our digital lives, and the innovations that are shaping tomorrow. We've got the inside scoop on major legal battles, critical health advisories, and the seismic shifts happening in the tech world that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Buckle up, because this is your essential briefing on what's trending and what's next. Let's dive in. First up, a major victory in the tech world as a tech giant navigates a high-stakes legal challenge, potentially reshaping how we interact with the internet. Then, we pivot to a crucial health announcement that could affect thousands, with important information for anyone who has undergone a specific medical procedure. Next, we break down the market reaction and the broader implications of a significant legal ruling that has sent shockwaves through the stock exchange. And finally, we explore a landmark decision that has the entire tech industry holding its breath, with implications for innovation and competition that will be felt for years to come. Don't go anywhere, and make sure you're subscribed and hitting that notification bell so you never miss an update. A landmark legal victory. In a move that has sent major ripples through the tech industry, a prominent technology company has successfully navigated a critical antitrust lawsuit, averting a potentially devastating breakup. This landmark decision by a federal judge means the company will retain its core assets, including its widely used web browser, a move that has been met with significant relief across the sector. The U.S. Justice Department had sought sweeping penalties, including the forced divestiture of key business components, arguing the company had illegally maintained a monopoly in the digital search market. However, the judge found that while remedies were indeed necessary to foster competition, the most extreme measures proposed by the government were excessive and could harm consumers and the broader digital economy. Instead, the ruling mandates specific behavioral changes, such as sharing certain data with competitors and prohibiting exclusive agreements that lock out rivals. This approach aims to re-inject competition into the market without dismantling an established industry player. The company's stock saw a significant surge following the announcement, reflecting investor confidence that its fundamental business model remains intact, albeit with new operational guidelines. This verdict not only impacts the company directly, but also sets a precedent for how regulatory bodies might approach antitrust cases against other major tech players in the future, especially as artificial intelligence continues to reshape the search landscape. But what does this mean for the everyday user, and what's the next big development we're tracking? Stay tuned as we break down the market's reaction and what this means for your digital experience. A critical health advisory issued. An important update is emerging from health regulators regarding specific hip replacement devices, flagging increased safety risks for patients who have received them. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA, has identified certain Profmer cobalt chrome modular neck hip replacements as carrying higher-than-expected risks of wear, corrosion, and fracture. While the majority of patients implanted with these devices experience no issues, a small percentage may develop complications such as soft tissue reactions or other metalwear effects, potentially necessitating revision surgery. UK hospitals are being advised to proactively identify and contact patients fitted with these specific components to arrange follow-up clinical assessments based on individual risk levels. It's crucial to note that patients do not need to contact their hospitals directly, as direct outreach is expected. These affected devices were in use in the UK between 2009 and January 2025, with fewer than 2,000 patients estimated to have received them. This advisory does not encompass all Profmer products, only specific models detailed in the safety notice. The MHRA emphasizes that while the risks are higher than with alternative designs, the incidence of severe problems remains low, affecting approximately 6 in every 1,000 patients. This proactive measure aims to ensure that any patient potentially affected receives timely and appropriate medical attention, underscoring the agency's commitment to patient safety and the rigorous monitoring of medical device performance. While this health alert is critical, the financial markets are also reacting to major industry news. We're now turning our attention to how the stock market is responding to significant tech rulings. Market reacts to tech ruling. Following a significant antitrust case verdict, the stock market has shown a strong positive reaction, particularly for major technology players involved. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, saw its shares surge in after-hours trading, jumping by as much as 8%, as a U.S. judge ruled against the forced sale of its core Chrome browser and other sweeping penalties sought by the Department of Justice. This decision means Google will not be required to divest its browser or make drastic changes to its lucrative deals with smartphone manufacturers, such as Apple, for default search engine placement. While the judge did confirm that remedies were needed to address Google's monopolistic practices in internet search, he opted for less severe measures than initially proposed by the DOJ. These include requirements for Google to share certain search data with rivals and to ensure that its default placement agreements with partners are non-exclusive, allowing for greater competition. The ruling also noted that Google's advertising data was exempted from sharing. This outcome has provided significant relief to investors who feared a more drastic breakup of the company. Apple's stock also experienced a notable climb, reflecting the continuation of billions of dollars in annual payments from Google for its default search engine status on iPhones. Analysts have largely viewed the ruling as favorable, easing the antitrust overhang that had weighed on Alphabet's stock. While the DOJ expressed that it was studying the decision and weighing its options, and some antitrust advocates felt the ruling did not go far enough, the market's immediate response clearly indicates a preference for the behavioral remedies over structural breakups. This sentiment suggests that while competition is being encouraged, the core business models of these tech giants are perceived as more stable than previously feared. But the implications of this ruling extend beyond just market performance. We're now looking at another major tech development that has the industry on the edge of its seat. Tech giant secures major legal win. In a decision that has reverberated across the global technology landscape, a federal judge has ruled in favor of a major tech company, allowing it to retain its highly influential web browser and averting the most severe penalties proposed in a landmark antitrust lawsuit. This verdict, delivered by U.S. District Judge Amit P. Mehta, represents a significant victory for Alphabet, Google's parent company, and provides a moment of respite for the broader big tech industry facing intense regulatory scrutiny. The core of the Justice Department's case centered on allegations that Google illegally monopolized the general search services market. The DOJ had pushed aggressively for structural remedies, including the forced divestiture of Google's Chrome browser and the Android operating system, arguing these were integral to its market dominance. However, Judge Mehta characterized these proposals as unwarranted and incredibly messy and highly risky. Instead, he opted for behavioral remedies aimed at fostering competition without dismantling a key player. These remedies include prohibiting Google from entering or maintaining exclusive contracts that designate its search engine, browser, or AI apps as the default on devices. While Google can continue to make payments for default placements, these arrangements must now be non-exclusive, allowing partners to offer rival services. Crucially, Google is also mandated to share certain search index and user interaction data with qualified competitors for 6 years, a move intended to help rivals improve their services and algorithms. The judge specifically acknowledged the impact of artificial intelligence on the case, noting that new AI products could potentially challenge Google's search dominance. The market reacted swiftly and positively, with Alphabet shares climbing significantly, signaling investor relief that the company's integrated ecosystem remains intact. Apple also saw its stock rise, benefiting from the continuation of lucrative default search payments. While the DOJ stated it was reviewing the ruling and considering its options, many antitrust advocates expressed disappointment, viewing the remedies as insufficient to truly curb Google's market power. This decision underscores a judicial preference for behavioral adjustments over structural breakups, potentially influencing future antitrust actions against other tech giants and shaping the competitive dynamics in the age of AI. This ruling has far-reaching consequences for innovation and competition. We'll now recap all the key updates from today's show. All right, that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw Google secure a major win in its antitrust case, avoiding a forced breakup but facing new data sharing requirements. Crucially, a health alert was issued for specific hip replacement devices, with hospitals set to contact affected patients. The stock market reacted positively to the tech ruling, boosting Alphabet and Apple shares. And in a landmark decision, Google retains its Chrome browser, with new rules aimed at fostering competition. Don't miss out on future breakdowns. Hit that like button, subscribe to Google Trends Hub, ring the notification bell, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow us on all social platforms for more. We'll see you next time.